Hey, what's going on, people? It's Guns Roger from Next Gen Tactics, and I just came across a very interesting news feed from Joystick, which is on our website. That's the news feed we use. And apparently, while not officially announced by Crystal Dynamics, which is the company who makes Tomb Raider, there appears to be multiplayer in the new upcoming game. No, they've never officially announced this. However, and I'll give you a link to the actual article in the description of the video, and you can read it for yourself. But apparently there's 2 job postings that opened up, and they're to do with multiplayer producer, and game director or whatever. So definitely, I mean, why would you post job postings or whatever for multiplayer positions in the upcoming one if there wasn't going to be multiplayer? So clearly there's going to be some sort of multiplayer component. Which, I don't know, is that good? Is it bad? If you're a huge fan of Tomb Raider, I'm not so sure if multiplayer is something that you really wanted or if it's really necessary, because like the Uncharted series, like for me, you know how Uncharted 2 brought in multiplayer on the second one, which was fun. It wasn't anything like, wow, this is really great, it's the next, greatest multiplayer. If you're like me, and Tomb Raider is along those same lines. I mean, I play Uncharted. I could care less about the multiplayer. Maybe they will, in Uncharted 3, make it incredible, and I will be like, wow, like that is a really good multiplayer. But I play the game for the story mode. You know what I mean? The campaign, the single player, because it's phenomenal. I mean, I really don't care if they totally eliminate multiplayer. I'm more excited to buy Uncharted 3, not because I'm like, oh wow, I can't wait to play the multiplayer. It's the storyline, it's the campaign, it's how well they've done that. And it's the same thing with Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider's always been, single player campaign, except for that last one that they did where it was co-op mode. I can't remember it. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Guardian of Light or something like that. But this new one looks like it's going to have a multiplayer component. And if you guys remember, I did put out a video about no more single player games, where they're kind of saying, well, you know what, gone are the days where we create videos simply for single player, which is kind of a shame, because if you think about it, there's limited space on all of these discs. Whether you're using the DVD on the 360 or the Blu-ray on the actual PS3. If you're using a good portion, because believe me, multiplayer takes up a good whack load of that friggin' storage space, does it not take away from the amazing quality that could have been put into the single player, which is why we love that game so much? I don't know if it's a good thing or not. I mean, if you guys are huge fans of Tomb Raider, I'm very curious to know what your opinions are on this, whether or not it's a good thing that they're introducing multiplayer. Remember, keep in mind that multiplayer content is going to take up space and is going to impact your single player, your campaign mode of Tomb Raider. I mean, it has to. It's going to, whether it's, dumbed down graphics, whether the storyline is shorter, you're going to have a shorter experience, but it will impact it. I mean, before they had the entire disk space just for the single player campaign, and now they've got to share it with multiplayer. And, as far as it goes, like with PS3, because of the storage on the Blu-ray, you could probably get away with it, but the other consoles wouldn't be able to share that same capacity. I mean, you could have the same full Tomb Raider experience on the PS3 and then slap on some multiplayer, because really the amount of storage space that it takes up on a Blu-ray is, like a third of it. It would be a third of it. That's it. So I'm just curious. I don't know. I don't think I would like that. And I'm not sure, thinking about it now as I'm talking about this, I'm not sure if I really like the fact that they're doing that to the Uncharted. Unless the multiplayer is kick-ass. Now, this is going to be Tomb Raider's first sort of real kick at the can of multiplayer, not including the Guardian of Light, because that's co-op and it was completely different. It was a different spin on it. But this is really their first kick at the can, so to speak. Did I say kick at the cat? Kick at the can or whatever of doing multiplayer. So there's going to be a lot of hits and misses in this, I think. It's going to be, it'll be kind of like the Uncharted 2 multiplayer. Fun, but not like, wow, I want to keep playing it. I know some of you guys really do like Uncharted 2 multiplayer. It's a lot of fun, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm just saying it's not like, like the current multiplayer games that we have, like Battlefield, Bad Company, Medal of Honor, Call of Duty. Of course I was going to mention Call of Duty. What am I, an idiot? So while it's not at that par, it was their first sort of kick at it. And Uncharted 3, they're looking at, you know, based on the reports, they're looking at vastly improving it. Vastly improving it. And if they're doing that again, it's the same thing. They're vastly improving it, and I'm very curious to see if it is going to be that much better. Because I love the movement of Uncharted. I love the cover system. It is incredible, but it wasn't quite perfected in the first multiplayer, so maybe they're going to nail it. But at the same time, they're taking away from my single player, and I play Uncharted because it's like being in control of an epic movie. That's really what it is. The Uncharted experience, the visuals, the sound, the acting, everything is like being in this friggin' long-ass movie that's just awesome. Go in there and you keep playing this, and you get totally into it. And now the multiplayer is going to be taking away from that experience, I think. Possibly. I hope it doesn't. But, you know, the bottom line is it quite possibly could. Anyway, I'm curious to know what you guys think, whether or not this is a good thing or bad thing. And again, it goes back to that, should we have games that are strictly single player? Why is it that everyone needs to go multiplayer? Is it really necessary? I don't know. Anyway, leave your comments. I'm very curious to know what you guys think. You guys and gals, of course. Peace. Get the latest updates and stay in touch with the NGT community with our all-new Facebook application. Check the description of the video for details.